So I watched B-Movie recently, and there was a scene that really resonated with me. And it has nothing to do with that weird, subtle bestiality theme thing. At the beginning of the movie, Jerry Seinfeld, in B form, as Barry Benson, graduates B college with his best friend, and they're required to pick a career. So while Barry's best friend is losing his absolute shit over his dream job in the honey-making business, Barry is sitting there contemplating the rest of his 6-day life and is faced with the dreaded reality of life after college, or as some people call it, the quarter-life crisis. Today's video is inspired by Meg Jay's The Defining Decade, Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most Out of Them. I gotta be honest though, I absolutely fucking hated this book. But in a good way. This book is a bit of a rude awakening with occasional solid advice, but it really got me thinking about how complicated this whole idea of what I want to do with the rest of my life is. This book is written from an extremely Western, upper middle class perspective, but in reality, balancing out societal and cultural expectations can look really different from everyone. So take everything from this book with a block of salt. Anyways, let's talk about being naive, confused, hopeless, and this close to selling ourselves to a Netflix documentary cult for a singular french fry, aka being in our 20s. The first challenge is doing what's right and doing what's new. Meg Jay noticed that people in their 20s are most fearful of one or two things, either doing what's been done before or doing what everyone else is doing. 9-to-5s are everyone's worst nightmare. I remember this one time I was in Hong Kong looking at the skyline, which is just a bunch of office buildings, and I was thinking to myself, I'm looking at the skyline, but I wonder if anyone in the skyline is looking back. And then I thought to myself, well, of course all the 9-to-5ers, or in Hong Kong it's 9-to-9ers, well, of course all the 9-to-9ers are looking out their windows of their office prisons and hoping to get out of there, that's such a melancholic and angsty thought. It's probably not even true, but the fear is very real. On the other hand, we're cursed with the thoughts of what we should be doing and how we should be living our lives. Should I get married at age 30? Should I be starting my own business? Should I be saving up for retirement? What age should I start going to Applebee's? There's all these questions. We're constantly torn between doing what we should be doing and doing something to break the mold. Point number 2 is confusing advice. Asking for advice for what you should do in your 20s is pretty difficult. Meg highlights people in their 30s and 40s who kind of put blame on their 20-year-old selves for not doing this or not doing that. And I'm sure we've all heard the phrase, hindsight is 20/20, but is it really though? Someone in their 30s who didn't jumpstart their career in their 20s might have regrets about that, and they might tell a 20-year-old that putting your career first is the most important thing. But on the other hand, someone who jump-started their career at the age of 25 might have regrets for not being able to travel and to explore, so they might tell a 20-year-old that the most important thing is self-discovery. But basically what I'm saying is, it's not really possible to give generalized advice to such a large and diverse group of people. What works for someone else might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for someone else. So I don't know, we're all lost. So what should our 20s really be about? I don't know. I'm 23. I'm barely even halfway there. But I think that instead of telling 20-somethings that if they don't have it all by the age of 29 and their imminent doom will be waiting for them the second they turn 30, maybe I'd like more advice on how to create a mindset that will allow me to have a more fulfilling life, whatever that may look like. Maybe I'd like to be able to harness the power of a growth mindset and other stuff I read on the internet during my crises nights. Love, money, career, and biology are variable and ever-changing, and we often can't have complete control over these realms, but we do have control over how we think of them and how we navigate through challenges. So for anyone else experiencing their quarter-life crisis, just know that you're not alone. I don't have the answers to anything really, but I'm just here for the ride. So, bye!